Hello children. Our objective for today's lesson is to use formal written method to calculate tens and ones multiplied by ones. And this would be with carryover. So let's see a sum. We have 25 multiplied by 7. Before we go ahead and calculate using the formal written method, let's first estimate the answer. So for the estimation, we take the number line and the number is 25. So we are going to round it off to the nearest tens, which would be 30. From 25 onwards, we round the number to 30. If it would be 24, we would have taken 20 as a number. So how do I estimate? 30 times 7 will give me 210. So this is how I have calculated it. 7 times 0 gives me 0. 7 times 3 is 21. Alright, so let's go ahead and use the formal written method to calculate this answer. First thing first, this number sentence is written horizontally. So we are going to write it vertically, one below the other, with the larger number on top so that it is easier to calculate and we don't get confused with the calculation. Remember that it doesn't matter if you write the bigger number on top or the smaller number on top. But this is an ideal way of writing because if you write it in reverse, you might find it confusing, especially when you're calculating larger numbers. So we begin with 7 times 5. In our mind, we have to do the calculation. We get the answer as 35. So we write it here. 3 we have written in the tens place because here it is in the tens place. And 5 we have written in the ones place because here it is in the ones place. Now remember, we have to still calculate 7 times 2. So one digit has to come here. So this number is going to interfere with that number. If I write 3 over here, there is no space for the answer which I will get when I multiply 7 and 2. So what do I do? Like in addition, when you get a two-digit answer, you carry over this first digit. So the same thing we are going to do in multiplication. Remember, multiplication is nothing but repeated addition. So I can either say 2 times 8 or I can add 8 two times. I will get the same answer, right? So here, now I'm going to carry this over on top and I will circle this 3 and write it like this so that it is easier for me to remember that yes, I have to add this number. Otherwise, I will confuse it with this number. Alright, so it's better to write the carried over number and circle it. So next, we go ahead with the calculation of 7 times 2. So what do we get? It is nothing but 7 times 20. So my answer is 140, which is a 3-digit number. So again, the digit in the hundreds place should go in the hundreds place. The digit in the tens place should go in the tens place. And the digit in the ones place should go in the ones place. We know that when we add over here, the 0 will get 5. Because 5 plus 0 is going to give me 5. What do we do in the tens place? I have a digit 4 over here which is in the tens place and I have another digit over here which was to be in the tens place. So I'm going to add this digit and this digit together and the sum I'm going to write over here. So 3 plus 4 will give me 7. So I write 7 over here. And then 1 which is in the hundreds place will come in the hundreds place. So my calculated answer is 175. So here's another question. So before we go ahead and calculate it, let's estimate. Since the number is 78, it is more closer to 80. So our number sentence here would be 80 times 3 is equal to 240. So this is how we calculate. 3 times 0 will give me 0. 3 times 8 will give me 20. Now let's do the calculation using the formal written method. So we begin with writing the larger number in the correct place value and the smaller number below it. So we first begin with calculating 3 times 8 in our mind, which gives us a 2-digit number, which we write it over here. And we know that this digit has to be carried over to the tens place. And we will circle it and write it so that we remember that this has to be added and we don't get confused with this number. 3 times 7, that is nothing but 3 times 70 because 7 is in the tens place, which will give us 210, which is a 3-digit number. So here we are adding 0. So 4 plus 0 will give me 4. So 4 remains as it is over here. And in the tens place, we add this 2 and this 1 over here. So we get the answer as 3. And then we place this 2 in the hundreds place. Alright? This is how we multiply with carryover. Now go ahead and try out the sums by yourself in your notebook and correct the answers. Make sure to first estimate and then use the formal written method to calculate your answers. So that's all with the lesson today. Have a nice day.